Hi everybody, this is Tara in Final Control, and as you can see it's still raining, but we have a slight change of plan. We have heard that Karula is on Triple M, just south of the Gary Gate, so the guys are going to be heading over and keeping everything covered, and hopefully as soon as the rain subsides then we might be able to go live with her. She is in a bad signal area, but we're going to give it a go and see if we are able to go live. If it is nice and dry. So they're making their way that side, so you still have me panning around with the camera at the moment, but hopefully this rain will subside. But Patrick's making his way over there in case it does subside and we're able to have a look at her. So keep your fingers crossed, everybody. Hi everybody, this is Tara in Final Control, and as you can see it is still raining. For those of you who may have missed, we have just heard that Karula is on Triple M just south of the gate, and apparently she does have her cubs with her. Unfortunately, with it still raining, we aren't able to have the camera uncovered or the equipment uncovered at the moment, but Patrick has made his way to the sighting, and hopefully if it does stop raining, then we'll try and go live with her. She is in a bad signal area, so I can't promise anything, but the guys have gone that side just in case we are able to bring news of Karula and her cubs. And for those of you who are maybe new to the site, Karula is our resident female leopard, and the cubs are just over 2.5 months old now, so still very small. We're waiting to find out what's going on and if the cubs, if she's moving with the cubs, but hopefully she's moving back onto our property, and with any luck we'll be able to see the cubs again very soon. So keep your fingers crossed. I'll try and keep you updated as much as possible, but for now please enjoy the sights and sounds of Gowrie Dam. And you can still see it's still raining a little bit, but I'm hoping that it's going to subside over where they are in the west. So thanks for staying tuned. If you would like to ask any questions, then do send them through to finalcontrol@safari.tv, and I'll be able to answer the questions for you, seeing as Patrick is still trying to find Karula. And a big hello to Bets, welcome back. I hope you're feeling much better. And you'd like to know if the crocodile could be bitten in half by the hippo, if there's a hippo here. I think that's what your question was. But hippos and crocodiles don't normally interact. It's a very rare occasion that they will interact. They tend to appreciate each other for what each other is. Both of them can be equally dangerous. And there, well, speaking of the hippo, there you go. Hippos probably do have the ability to bite a crocodile in half, and obviously the crocodile would have the ability to take a baby hippo especially, and you do find mothers can be very protective and making sure they stay in between crocodiles and the babies. But for most of the time, hippos and crocodiles don't seem to interact with each other. Okay, I've just had some news from Patrick, and unfortunately the rain is just getting a little bit too heavy where Karula is, so the guys have managed to get a couple of pictures that hopefully I'll be able to share with you later on today in a blog. But unfortunately it is getting a little bit too heavy even for them to stay out with the camera and equipment covered, so Patrick is on his way back. The cubs were hidden in the long grass, so they didn't manage to see them too well, and I think with this rain that's possibly why. But I'm going to try and ask Patrick to come and have a chat with you, and maybe he can explain the sighting as he saw it and what was being said, and hopefully he'll be able to fill you in on a few details that I'm not able to. But sadly we have got a little bit too much rain for them to stay out and stay with her, but at least we've heard that she's here, and with any luck she's moving those cubs back onto Western Gowrie where we are, and with any luck we'll be hopefully seeing those cubs in the next few days. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. I'd love to see them before we head on leave, and it would be great to see their progress. Just one thing, apparently the cubs were up a tree. Now a few people have been asking what age are the cubs going to be able to climb, and we weren't too sure. We haven't seen the cubs or previous cubs at a very small age, and apparently they were in a false marula tree, so it does sound like they are able to climb now, which is wonderful news. So that does mean that they're not going to be as much of a risk from predators, but obviously still being very small they are still going to be at some risk. So it's still quite a difficult time, and still quite a vulnerable time for them being so small, but obviously Karula is a fantastic mother, and she seems to be doing extremely well so far, keeping them out of harm's way. So I'm hoping she can keep it up, and hopefully we'll be able to see those cubs very soon. So anybody wanting to send through any questions, please feel free to send them through to finalcontrol@safari.tv. There's a couple of questions coming in here for me, so I'll answer those, and then I'll be able to hand over to Patrick as soon as he gets back. You can hear the Franklins calling in the background there. So I'll have to keep a lookout for the tracks there. But you're asking about what I was saying yesterday about the wild dogs, and a reserve isn't allowed to have wild dogs if they're less than 24,000 hectares, because wild dogs do roam in quite a big area, and they do hunt quite efficiently actually. So if there's a small reserve and people are wanting to bring wild dog in, they're not allowed to unless they're over 24,000 hectares. So if there's a situation where wild dogs do stray into an area, it's happened because they've actually come in by themselves, and that actually happened on my old reserve. For some reason, every winter time, without fail, we'd actually have 1 or 2 wild dogs that would get through into the reserve and then pop out again. And because they've not been brought in, it's not being controlled, there shouldn't be a problem, but obviously it does mean that there is a weak link in the fence. And in some areas the fencing can be in an area where it's difficult to maintain, and that's how some animals may be able to get in or out. And it's generally smaller animals that will be able to get through the fence. So that's one thing that we have to look out for, especially if you do have a small reserve. The fences are checked and maintained as much as possible, but sometimes it's not always possible, and that's how wild dogs may get through into smaller reserves. And as I say, without fail, those dogs were able to get in, and we think that they were possibly escaped from another reserve further away, and there's 1 or 2 wild dogs that have managed to survive outside of the reserves, and they seem to be a little bit streetwise, so they seem to be able to move between those reserves quite nicely. But it's not the norm. It doesn't happen a lot. I think it's just a small pack that was in that area, and as I say, that's really the only time that you're going to have that happen. So hopefully that will help answering that one. And hello to Brooke. I believe you're a new viewer. I hope you're doing well. And you'd like to know how we feel about being around all the animals, the snakes and the spiders. And believe me, it's a fantastic experience out here. I'm originally from the UK, and I moved out here about 5 years ago to be a guide. and I absolutely love being out here. I really enjoy it. And you don't often get a chance to see the snakes and the spiders. We've been seeing a lot of spiders on drive recently. We've been, I think someone's saying we've been coming face to face with a lot of them, which we have. And myself and Seb had quite a great time yesterday trying to dodge all the spiders and the spider webs. And we obviously try and avoid breaking the spider webs as much as possible, but sometimes they do build them across the road, so it can get a little bit difficult to avoid them sometimes, and sometimes you just don't see the webs until you've already broken through them. But it is a fantastic experience out here, and I definitely wouldn't give it up for the world at the moment. And hopefully you'll stay with us and enjoy a few more drives. And one of the reasons why we're not able to go out in the rain is because the equipment is open. We have tried to waterproof the camera as much as possible, but there are other cables and things that can get exposed, and if there's too much rain, then they will get damaged. So we do have to cover everything up once it starts raining. We do try and stay out when it's spitting very slightly. We do try and stay out and try and outrun the rain, but this time it was just too heavy for us. So hopefully that will help you with that question. And as I say, hopefully you'll stay with us a little bit longer as well. And we do get a chance to see the leopards and other animals on a fairly regular basis, but with it being the bush, it is unpredictable, and that's what the beauty of what we do here. Because it is live, we can't predict what's going to happen. We can try and predict, but it really does depend on the bush at the end of the day, and we just have to be at the right place at the right time, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So we were able to catch up with Karula yesterday. She was on the sandy patch to the west, not too far from where she was seen this morning actually, and we did see her starting to hunt impala, and the impala ran into a very thick bush and we weren't able to follow her in. And I'm not too sure if she was successful or not. The wind was completely wrong. The wind was actually blowing her scent down towards the impala, and they did give an alarm call to say that they'd spotted her, but I don't know if she was successful. But fingers crossed she was, and maybe she's trying to take the cubs to the impala. So I'm hoping that's what's happening. And hi to Jody in New Mexico. And you're fascinated that the bird activity increases with the rain. And apparently in New Mexico the birds are silent and almost invisible in the rain. And do the birds remain active at Juma while it is raining? It does depend on how heavy the rain is. When it's very light rain, the birds will remain active, and I think some of them actually just enjoy the rain because it does help to cool down, especially during the summer, the very hot temperatures. So I think they do enjoy the light rain, but when it gets extremely heavy rain, most birds will go and take cover and hide. And because most of the bird calling is to do with territorial defense, so that's why you get a lot of birds calling first thing in the morning with the dawn chorus to mark the territory and say that they've survived the night. So the birds will tend to call at that time of the day and to call to say about the territory. So if it's raining, most birds they will be in a thicker bush and probably not out and about as much. So you're probably not going to hear them calling as much because they are in a thicker bush as well. So hopefully that helps to answer your question. And Patrick is on his way back, so if you would like to ask Patrick any questions, then do send them through to funnelcontrol@safari.tv, and if there is any other questions that you'd like me to answer in the meantime, also send them through. But otherwise, enjoy the sounds of the Gowrie Dam. I'll keep panning around and see if we can have another look. Maybe the hippo will surface again, and we'll hopefully be with Patrick very shortly. Okay, folks, Sebastian and Patrick have just arrived back, so give Patrick a couple of minutes and he'll be on the Waterhole channel to chat with you. But just want to say a quick hello to Mary in Alberta, and hopefully you are doing well. And I think Sue, if you're still around, then happy birthday. And if you are still around, please send an email and see if Patrick will sing you happy birthday. But have a great day, and I hope you are well. But if there's any other questions for Patrick, do send them through to funnelcontrol@safari.tv, and he'll be able to answer them for you. Sorry, I see there's a correction to be made there. It's Anne in Alberta. Anne, I hope you're well. And the guys are just putting the Gunda back into the garage, so Patrick should be with you in a couple of minutes. But another quick hello to everybody who is out there and on chat, and everybody who's not able to join us on chat. Everybody in JTV, I've not been able to get in there at the moment, and into Ning, haven't forgotten about you guys either. But hi to Misha, Karen, Mary, Heather, hopefully you're well, Joe, Ozzy, Bet, I did say hello to you earlier. Who else have we got? Peking, hopefully you're still around. And Jiz. And Mike, Linda, Laurie, Evil Dog, good to see you. And she, I wondered where you went. I saw you popped out a little bit earlier. Okay, I can hear the footsteps of Patrick, so I'm going to be handing you over now. But enjoy everybody, and I'll see you again soon.
Good morning, everyone. This is Frederick speaking, Funnel Control, and I'm just back here in Funnel Control for Q&A. Just to quickly brief you about Kirill and the Cubs. The of Triple M, about 300-400 meters south of Gari Gate itself, and it said took a beautiful pictures of one of the cubs sitting up in the tree staring at us, and Kirill was on the ground with the other cub. And apparently there was also a hyena in that vicinity, yeah? So I presumed that she probably made a kill last night, and she stuck in the cubs to the kill, because when Tara left here yesterday afternoon on Sandy Patch, and she was moving west and hunting the impalas. So yeah, she could have killed an impala just in the block between Vietela Access Road and Triple M, south of Gari Gate. And when we got there, there was two vehicles at the sighting, and one vehicle was from Simbambili, and the guide from Simbambili told us that Gorilla was not happy about the vehicles around her and the cubs, and she nearly jumped into one of the game drive vehicles there. So as I said the other day, is that the cubs are still still very shy and nervous of the vehicles, and if they see the vehicle and try and run away from the vehicle, and that obviously upset the mother. So that's probably why she got very upset and nearly jumped into one of the game drive vehicles. So, but yeah, it was very nice to see her. But they were Gorilla and the other cub were just lying down in the long grass there, but we didn't have a visual of the hyena. Maybe the hyena would just wandered off just before we got there. So it was great, and again it's just pouring out there in the rain, as you can see down at Gari Dam. It's pouring in the rain. And also one elephant bull on quarantine, and we had the other elephant bull just on Philemon's cut line this morning. So it was a beautiful morning out there. So Tara and I will try and head out to Gorilla just after game drive, and then see what we can find, and we will obviously keep you guys posted. Hi Bears, good morning to you. I've never seen the Saharan cheetah, and I've seen lots of king cheetahs, but not the Saharan cheetahs. Stevens asking about the level of management, bush and wildlife management here in the South Bay Sands. The bush and wildlife management in the South Bay Sand is very good. It is pretty much the same as the Kruger National Park, and it's just the South Bay Sand has become part of the Greater Kruger National Park, and the bush management is up to the standard, and it's very effective. And in terms of intervening with the injured animals, we just don't intervene into any of the species that occur within the Greater Kruger National Park. There are specific animals that we intervene when they are injured or they have been caught in the snares and that sort of thing. So, but if the animal is got not an animal, the impala has got a broken leg, or the giraffe has got a broken neck, or anything like that, so we in the cases like that, and we the nature takes its own course, so we don't interfere with the nature at all with regard to that. But with regards to the predators, endangered species like cheetahs, wild dogs, leopards, and lions, and if the lion has got injured neck or anything like that, and we obviously intervene. We will try and get the vet out to come and dot that particular animal and treat it. So there's a very good bush and wildlife management here in the South Bay Sand, as well as the Greater Kruger National Park. And also because some areas here in the South Bay Sands are still very pristine wilderness, and there hasn't been any too much humans interference in terms of bush clearings and that kind of thing. So we do bush clearings just to try and induce the general game species, and also to be able to maintain the safety. So we do quite a lot of things out here, and again, if the dams dry out, and we do pump the artificial water sources to provide water to our wildlife. So yeah, there's a very good management here in terms of wildlife management, taking care of the land and the wildlife. Hi, Brick and Progress. Also wants to know if we see animals attack to get their food, or do we try to avoid those kind of things? Yes, certainly we do see animal attacks, and we also don't intervene in the things like that. So the nature also takes its own course. Anything to do about the wildlife, and we generally try not to intervene. If for instance, if the hyena is chasing the leopard of the kill, and then there's nothing we can do about it. So it's nature. That is in animals' nature. So there's nothing we can do about it. So we don't intervene at all. And I've witnessed many hyenas driving the leopards off the kill, even the lions off the kills. And we just don't intervene. That's nature. The animals are very competitive in the bush, so they do their own thing, and we as humans, we just observe and take pictures if we can, and let them do their own things. Like just a very good example, and recently we witnessed in Runa one of our resident young male leopards playing with the baby monkey, and we had nothing to do about it. That's animals' nature. So yeah, and that's animals' nature. Yeah. Elizabeth, good morning to you. Elizabeth is asking about growing the cubs, and if you guys will be able to see the pictures of the cubs up in a tree. Yeah, very certainly you will see them. And Seb will be working on the pictures this morning, and hopefully he will post them onto Facebook as soon as it's done with them. So yeah, we can't hide anything away from you folks. So yeah, you'll definitely see the pictures during the course of the day. Hi, Joe in Vancouver. Joe is asking if it's possible that Kurila was antagonized by the other game drive vehicles, and as she knows the Ganda and the guides. Will that make a difference? Certainly it will make a difference. It depends on the situation. In the situation where Kura is at the moment with the very small cubs, and then if you approach them inappropriately or get too close to her, and she will definitely react relatively aggressive towards the vehicle. As I said a couple of days ago, that it's still a very sensitive sighting, so we try not to push them too much. Because the cubs are still not yet sure about the presence of the vehicles and how to deal with the vehicles in a situation or in the different situations. So yeah, and if you do something wrong, then she'll react differently. As you know, Korea is a very, very relaxed female, and she allows the presence of the vehicles, the movement and everything. But in this kind of a situation, then she is no longer the same. So she's quite different. She has been very, very aggressive towards other vehicles, especially the game drive vehicles carry guests, and the guests tend to make movements on the vehicle, grabbing the cameras, trying to get the better position to take a picture, and that will obviously upset Kurila. She will get extremely agitated, as she did this morning. As I said, that she nearly jumped onto one of the game drive vehicles, and obviously one or two of the guests behind the Land Rover were doing something unacceptable. Yeah. So she may know the Ganda, she may know the other game drive vehicles, but if there's kind of misbehavior from the vehicles or from the guests, and then she wouldn't be impressed about that under no circumstances. Good morning, everyone. This is Perry speaking from control again. Just the last question from Jody in New Mexico, saying that gorilla only knows the sound of the gander, and she knows our voices, and she trusts us more than the other game drive vehicles. And she thinks that she should never be really aggressive towards the gander for any reason. Yeah, I think so, Jody. I think she does know the sound of the vehicle and possibly our individual voices. And when it comes to trust, it's a bit different with the wild animals. But we must all remember that she is the wild animal. Any wild animal will remain as wild as it is, and that is animals' nature, to remain as wild as they are. And I think in terms of approaching the animal, besides the animal recognizing the sound of the vehicle and also the voices of the individual people, it's all about respect. It comes down to respect. So if you do respect the animal and you will also earn the respect back from that particular animal. So if you got to be extra careful when you are approaching the leopard with the very small cubs, because the mother is very protective over to the babies. And under the circumstances that the mother leopard will allow the vehicle to get as close as possible to the cubs, especially at a very small age, like babies, for instance, that are still very small and they are still unrelaxed to the vehicle and that kind of things. If the baby start running away from the vehicle or feeling uncomfortable with the presence of the vehicle or the way the vehicle is approaching it, and the mother wouldn't accept it in any circumstances. So it's all about respect. So we respect animals, and we must also approach them carefully and keep keep a distance, I mean, as safe as possible or as comfort as possible, depending on the body language of that particular animal that you are approaching. Yeah. But I do agree with you, Judy, when you say that she knows the sound of the gander, and she also knows the sound of the other game drive vehicles, like the Juma vehicles, for instance, because they also operate on the reserve every day and twice a day, in the morning and the afternoon. So she also knows them. She knows them very well, and she also knows them individually. And yeah, it's just the way you treat the animal and the way you give the animal respect. So I think that is vitally important. Yeah. And again, I also do agree with you if you say that we don't carry the guest on the vehicle. So we know exactly what to do. We're very well trained and experienced, knowledgeable, and when it comes to dealing with the wild animals, and we fully understand the behavior. Whereas the guests, they tend to get extremely excited when they see the leopard. They wanna, you know what I mean? So as I said earlier, that the guests will move around just to get a better position to view the animal and also to take as good photos as possible. So that is the entire reason why the game drive vehicles are often charged by wild animals, is because of the guests on board. Okay, folks, I'm going to call it a day. And it's been nice chatting to you, sending in your questions and your ideas and suggestions and everything. And it's all drizzling out there, as you can see, down at Gowrie Dam, and we're just gonna monitor or keep assessing the situation of the weather. Let's hope and cross our fingers that the rain stops so that we can go out on game drive this afternoon, and we can possibly try and follow up on Karura and the babies, and see how it goes, and see what we can find. And from me, Patrick, and the rest of the Wild F Safari crew, and I'll be saying goodbye and see you later. Bye for now.